So today's webinar meeting, whatever we may call it, is about our music exams. Now, we have had quite a lot of queries about the exams and also a little feedback from examiners as to, the components of the exam. So we thought we'd do a refresher before this next session of live exams takes off, which is going to happen very soon. And especially, this is just specially for Bangalore. No other city has been invited. We will be going to the other cities and holding these webinars. So we thought we'd make it an interactive, all you need to know kind of session for the teachers in Bangalore. With me from our team, of course, in case you don't know me, I'm Anjali Mata. I'm the academic head for music and rock and pop for Trinity College London, India. And with me from my academic team, I have senior academic consultant Priya Chaturvedi joining us from Dehradun. I have Gopalakrishnan from Kochi. And I'm not sure if Faith is here at the moment. She's from Bangalore, but she would also be joining. So what we're going to do is basically take you through the requirements of the examinations. If you have any questions, please do put them in the chat box. We will address them. The team will address them. If not immediately, they will address them after the session is over. It's not very long. We have kept it concise. So we're going to talk mainly about the face-to-face exams, the classical suite to start with, and we will be also telling you a little bit about the rock and pop. So just very quickly, a recap on what the classical suite involves in the face-to-face exams. We have 3 pieces which we need to perform. In singing grades 6 to 8, there are 4 pieces. And these have to be chosen from the repertoire list of the relevant syllabus. These pieces carry 22 marks each in all instruments, except in singing grades 6 to 8, where they carry 68 marks because 4 pieces are chosen. A total of 68 marks. The technical work section, candidates need to prepare the technical work from options. Remember, there are options and do refer to the syllabus for this, these include scales and arpeggios, exercises, orchestral extract from relevant syllabuses. A selection of this is requested by the examiner. And this carries in all instruments 14 marks, whereas in singing grades 6 to 8, it is 12 marks. The third part of the assessment, the face-to-face assessment, is the supporting tests. Grades initial to 5, we need to prepare 2 supporting tests from sight reading, orals, musical knowledge, improvisation. You can choose any 2. This is only from grade initial to 5, and each of these carries 10 marks. And grades 6 to 8, sight reading becomes compulsory. There is a choice between orals and improvisation. The option of musical knowledge is no longer available. So this is just a concise recap of what the exam consists of. Now, if we move to a little more detail with the instruments. So as far as the pieces, I'm taking the first section now. As far as the pieces go, initial to grade 5, 3 pieces chosen freely from a list. Grade 6 to 8, pieces are now divided into Group A and Group B. You choose 1 from Group A, 1 from Group B. The third piece may be from either Group A or Group B. And each piece carries 22 marks. There are some exceptions. This includes acoustic guitar, In all the grades, the pieces are chosen freely from a list. There is no group A or group B. The second one is drum kit, initial to grade 8, 2 pieces from group A with Trinity backing track, 1 from group B unaccompanied. So this will come to you as a PDF, so you will be able to refer to this, as well as a recording of the webinar will be sent to you for your reference at any time you would like to recap this. The third exception is singing, classical singing this is. Initial to grade 3, songs are chosen freely from a list. Grade 1 to 5, songs are divided into 3 groups. No more than 2 songs from any one group. So please be careful of this, those singing teachers who are preparing for classical singing. Grade 6 to 8 singing, as I mentioned in the first slide, 4 pieces from the repertoire list of the syllabus. Now, this is a little confusing, so you may have to refer to this in print. The syllabus also has all the details. There are 5 groups. No more than 2 songs may be chosen from any one group. At least 1 song must be chosen from group A and no more than 1 song from the same composer. The program should include songs in at least 2 living languages, which includes English. So 2 existing languages that are used. So this is something singing teachers may want to be careful about and keep it in mind as to what the requirement in grade 6 to 8 is. All right, now we come to a component of the exams for instruments which are accompanied. So recorded piano accompaniment or backing track allowed only up to and including grade 3, not beyond that. Remember, this is face-to-face exams. Pieces or songs, as in the singing syllabus, published with an accompaniment may not be performed unaccompanied. Do be careful that you will have to have an accompaniment with the pieces that have that provided in the exam books. Examiners will not operate playback equipment. Do remember that in rock and pop, this does happen. The examiners provide the playback equipment and play it from their computers, but not in the classical suite. This needs to be handled by the candidate, teacher, or another person not related to the candidate who may only remain in the room when required. Other than for duets, accompaniments on instruments besides piano must be approved in advance by Trinity. So if you are planning to have the accompaniment played on any other instrument, so for instance, in say a strings exam, you're having a keyboard accompaniment or a guitar accompaniment, you need to get this approved in advance by Trinity. And non-piano accompaniments can be approved only if musically appropriate. And there are parameters in the syllabuses provided which tell you what is appropriate and what is not. For example, you're not allowed to play the melody line in the accompaniment. So do refer to that. If we look at duets, if you choose a duet to offer in the exam, it must not be played as a solo piece. You cannot play only the candidate part. You will be penalized for that. Your result will be referred. The duet option is available for piano initial to grade 3. The duet part may be performed either live by a teacher, another adult or student, or may be pre-recorded. In violin, initial to grade 3, That's all strings really. The duet part may be performed live or pre-recorded and must be played on a bowed instrument. Please remember that. The duet part may either be performed live, which I said earlier, this has got repeated, or may be pre-recorded. And a teacher, adult, or student can perform it. Acoustic and classical guitar, we have the option of duets from initial to grade 5, and you are allowed to choose up to 2 duets. The duet part may be performed live on guitar. Pre-recorded is also allowed, but only up to grade 3, not for grade 4 and grade 5. Okay, so any questions? I hope they're going into the chat box. Moving on to the technical work. Now, while I was preparing for this webinar, I did discover that there are so many options for technical work for the different instruments that it can get quite confusing. I will try and make it as clear as possible. So basically, what the requirement here is that candidates prepare technical work from options including scales and arpeggios, exercises, studies, orchestral extract from the relevant instrument syllabus. Do remember, all instruments don't have all these options. Okay? So they are only from, you have to refer to the instrument syllabus and prepare what is given there. A selection is requested by the examiner. You prepare all in the face-to-face exams, and I will just mention here that this is a little different from the digital exams where the selection is already made for you, since it is a recorded exam and you can opt to perform set A, set B, or if you're doing exercises, you can choose your 2 exercises. So that is a difference. Please keep that in mind. In the classical face-to-face, we need to prepare the complete technical work and examiner will ask for a selection. Also very important, scales, arpeggios must be played from memory. Where there are exercises being done or studies, you may use the score, the music score, but not for scales, arpeggios, chord knowledge. All that cannot be done with a score. Okay. Now, I've tried to just summarize a little bit of this with the different instruments which I kind of thought were popular. So we'll deal with piano first. Candidates perform scales, arpeggios, and exercises. Most other instruments have a choice between the scales, arpeggios, broken chords, chord knowledge, and the exercises. You don't do both. Only in piano, you do both. So candidates prepare the scales and arpeggios set for the grade and play a selection as requested by the examiner. These must be performed from memory, as I said earlier. Exercises, these are specially composed short pieces designed to develop and demonstrate 3 key areas of technique in performance. One is tone balance and voicing. The second is coordination. The third is finger and wrist strength and flexibility. Now, do keep this in mind, piano teachers, that when you prepare the exercises, the student is aware of these 3 areas of technique which are being assessed in these 3 groups. So they prepare 3 exercises from the list for the grade, 2 of which are played in the exam. Now, one is chosen by the candidate and one by the examiner. So the candidate will be given the option of playing his favorite exercise or whichever one he feels he is doing the best. And the examiner will then choose one from the other two groups that are being offered. Exercises can be played from memory, but the music is also allowed. And they are included in the Trinity graded exam books for the grade. Now, if we look at electronic keyboard, candidates perform a keyboard exercise, scales, chord knowledge, or exercises. Now, so there is an option here for the exercises. At the initial grade, candidates do not perform the keyboard exercise. They may choose between scales, chord knowledge, or exercises. But from grade 1 onwards, the keyboard exercise is compulsory. They must begin the technical work section by performing the keyboard exercise. They then choose one of the following options: scales and chord knowledge, or exercises. So be very clear about this. So the keyboard exercise is a must, and then they go on and do either scales and chord knowledge with it or exercises. So even if you are doing the exercises, your keyboard exercise has to be performed first. So please be clear about this. Coming to strings, candidates perform a bowing exercise. This is like in keyboard, they do a keyboard exercise. This bowing exercise is compulsory. Scales, arpeggios, technical exercise, or studies orchestral extracts in the higher grades. At initial, again, there is no bowing exercise. They only perform the scales. Grades 1 to 8, all candidates begin the technical work section with the bowing exercise. They then choose from one of the following options: scales, arpeggios, and technical exercises. So there's a lot of, exercises happening here. So you need to be very clear. There is a bowing exercise, which is compulsory, grades 1 to 8. And then with the scales and arpeggios, there is a technical exercise that needs also to be performed. If you do not choose the scales, arpeggios, and technical exercise option, you can go for the studies, grades 1 to 5, or orchestral extracts, grades 6 to 8. So be sure that, you understand this well to get the best out of the exam you are appearing for. Moving to guitar, classical guitar first. Here again, there is a technical exercise, scales and arpeggios, or studies concerto extracts. All candidates begin technical work section by performing a technical exercise. So we've seen each of these instruments, guitar, strings, keyboard, start off with an exercise relevant to techniques used for that instruments. They then choose one of the following options: scales and arpeggios, or studies. Initial to grade 7, concerto extract is only available at grade 8. There is no studies in grade 8. There is a concerto extract which needs to be performed if you have chosen this option. And in the digital exam, already it is divided into groups, so you can just go with the group that you prefer to play. Acoustic guitar, candidates perform scales and arpeggios, chord sequences, cadences, and exercises. So here there is no choices in acoustic guitar. Candidates prepare all requirements set for the grade. Please refer to the syllabus, refer to the book that is available for the technical work. They play a selection as requested by the examiner. And all technical work elements must be played from memory. You cannot use the score. Candidates can choose to use a plectrum or finger strokes or a combination. The plectrum strokes are printed in Trinity Scales Arpeggios and Studies book, and this must be observed if using a plectrum. Whatever instruction is given with the downstroke, upstroke must be played as notated. Singing. Now, this looks like a pretty simple one. There are just 3 options. You can do vocal exercises, which have to be accompanied. Vakai exercises, also to be accompanied. Or you do an unaccompanied folk song. So you will just do one out of the following options: the vocal exercises, Vakai, and the unaccompanied folk song. And for the drum kit, again, it's a little different. I told you everything is so different in this technical work section, but it is relevant to the instrument that you are learning. So you have specially composed short pieces called rudiments, designed to demonstrate and develop key areas of technique. Focus on the rudiments listed for the grade. Candidates prepare all 3 exercises from the repertoire book. In the exam, candidate chooses one exercise. Examiner then selects one of the remaining 2, may perform either from memory or using the music score. That is an option. You can use the music score or you may perform from memory. So that covers most of the instruments. I have not gone into brass and saxophone. Do remember brass and woodwind in this, sorry. Do remember that the syllabuses are very comprehensive, and all this information that I have put out here, I have got from the syllabus. I myself am not an expert in all these instruments, but the way they have given it, it's very easy to understand. So do have your syllabus book handy when you are preparing your students for any instrument exam or for singing. That gives you all the information you need. So, last part of the examination now. It's the supporting tests. Just to clarify, right at the beginning, this is face-to-face exams. In the digital exams, there are no supporting tests. That is replaced by overall performance. But today we are dealing with the requirements of the face-to-face exams, and here the supporting tests are necessary. You need to perform 2 supporting tests. Grades initial to 5. These can be chosen from 4 options: sight reading, orals, musical knowledge, improvisation. So you can choose 2. You can combine whatever you want. It could be orals and sight reading, orals and musical knowledge, improvisation and orals, improvisation and musical knowledge, whatever you would like the student to prepare and whatever is the student's strength. I feel we are appearing for an exam, so you do want to get the best marks. So please prepare whatever you think is best for the student. But please do prepare it. There's a lot of areas where, teachers say that I'm not a pianist because orals are played on the piano. So I don't know how to deliver these tests. There are recordings available. There are CDs available from earlier. So you can do it through these various methods. Grade 6 to 8, now sight reading becomes compulsory. There is a choice between orals and improvisation. There is no musical knowledge option. So the fact that sight reading becomes compulsory, this is just a little bit of advice. This is not, you don't have to do it, but as from my experience of so many years, this is a little bit of advice I'm giving you. Do not ignore the sight reading in the grades initial to 5, because comes grade 6 and the student is floundering all, with not having done sight reading and unable to go through that test, which you have to do. So do keep it up in those grades also. You may not do it for the exam because, as I said, the exam you are doing the best that the student can get marks from. You teach it, you make them do it during their sessions with you, but don't offer it for the exam if you feel they're not so good. But do not ignore it totally because you have to do 2 supporting tests. This is a complete, the exam really, these musicianship skills are what are needed to really be able to say that I have completed grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 of the Trinity exams. The learning outcomes have all been addressed. So do address that if you're not doing it already. All right. Now, a lot of people ask, how do we get resources? So that was all about the exams. Now, I'm just going to tell you a few things as to where you can access our resources for our supporting tests first. So we have 2 sets of resources. There's printed resources, which is available from the TCL Press or in bookshops here locally in India. And we have online resources, which is the website. Could you please be on mute, Elvis?
Sorry.
And video off, please. So there's the website. And there are the YouTube channel is there, the Trinity YouTube channel. Make sure you go to the Trinity YouTube channel. I have forgotten to put the links, but I will do that before I send it out to you as a PDF. So these 2 places can give you your online resources. So what do we have available for supporting tests in the print resources are the oral books. There are 2 oral books, grades initial to 5 and grade 6 to 8. And you have for drum kit unpitched orals. So that is also available. There are sample tests available in it. But do remember that the test that you get in the exam is not going to be anything from the book. It is a totally different test. So do remember that. Our sight reading books, if you look, have a new cover, a new look, which is really nice, looks really nice. So these are available, grades 3 to 5, grades 6 to 8, and grades initial to 2. There are 3 volumes available. The one you see at the bottom left is the musical knowledge. Now, this is more for your theory, but it has information which could help also in the musical knowledge assessment. However, it does not have sample questions and answers. These are available in the instrument syllabus book, and I've just put out these 2 sheets here where initial to grade 5 sample questions are given, what the answer should be. But please remember the demand is cumulative. So if you're doing grade 5 musical knowledge, you could also be getting a question from grade 1 or 2 or initial even. So your theoretical knowledge needs to be very secure when you're taking the musical knowledge option. And the last option is improvisation. And improvisation parameters as per grades are available in the instrument syllabus book. They have all the parameters given there, and you can take that out from the syllabus book as to which keys it'll be in, what is the range of notes, and All details are there. And besides that, we have digital resources which you can print out. So this goes to the resources site. I have given the link at the bottom. This is for improvisation only. The stylistic stimulus, there are 3 types of stimuli: motivic stimulus and harmonic. One is for stylistic improvisation, the other is a melodic one. The motivic is based on a motive or a short melody, and harmonic is based on chords. So these are actually links that I have put in here, and you can download the specimen tests and use them for your students to practice. And they're available at this website link. So there is a lot available in the resources pages of our website, where we do provide sample tests. We do provide examples of supporting tests going on, or any other test going on, or even a whole exam. So do refer to that. It really helps you when you are preparing the children for exams. So the last section of this presentation is going to be about exam related, is the marking of the exam. We did go through it. So just a recap here: pieces are 66, 22 marks each. Technical work 14, supporting test 1 is 10, supporting test 2 is 10, and total is 100. The singing breakup I have given you earlier. So for the 6 to 8, that is the only thing that is different. Within the pieces where they carry 22 marks, there are 3 areas that the examiner looks at. One is the fluency and accuracy, which carries 7 marks, technical facility, which is 7 marks, and communication and interpretation, 8 marks. That totals to 22. So if you are preparing your students to the best of your ability and you want them to do really well, this breakup within the pieces is something you need to understand and you need to convey to the students. It makes a lot of difference in the marks. And our attainment levels: 87 to 100 distinction, 75 to 86 merit, 60 to 74 pass, and below pass after that. There are 2: below pass 1, below pass 2. Now, it is not necessary to pass all sections or any section to achieve a pass overall. The total must be 60 marks for you to get a pass. Okay, so if that is clear, we are going to just move to a very relevant topic, which is the syllabus, the Trinity syllabuses, which have undergone a big change in the last 2 years. So now we have a new look syllabus book, and they have stopped printing the syllabuses. We are getting some in India, but those are being printed here. However, Trinity is keen that people go digital, and people refer to the website or download the syllabuses and view them, so that we do contribute to the environment with not using too much paper. So you have this book which you can see, piano syllabus. It'll be the same for strings, it'll be the same for singing and all other instruments. Now, in this book, you have the digital and the face-to-face assessment requirements in one place. So the first half may be digital and the second half is face-to-face. So what is inside this book is this. You have the full requirements relating to piece selection, technical work, performance and interpretation, instruments that can be used, any supporting documents that you need to submit, accompaniment rules, duet rules, music and copies, those rules as to you need to use the original book, All that is in this syllabus. And when I say technical work, the requirement for the technical work, not the printed score for the technical work. So, what is missing here in this syllabus is your repertoire. The repertoire is outside the syllabus now. So, when you go to the page where you choose piano, you will have this syllabus given, which you can download. And along with that, you will have the repertoire for the different grades. Now, here you have a choice of downloading the grade that you're looking for or preparing your students for, or you can download the complete repertoire list for all grades. The link is provided and it will be in a PDF. Also, piano accompaniment repertoire lists are available to download. So this is different now. So for all instruments, this is what will happen. Excuse me. It's just that slowly this is happening with the new syllabuses that have come out, like brass, piano, strings, and it is not, the electronic keyboard is still the same as before. The singing one also came in 23. So do go to our website, it's just trinitycollege.com, and you will find all this information. Syllabus validity is another thing which we get a lot of questions on. So this really is something which has changed drastically. All Trinity College London syllabuses will now operate without an end date, because we are continuously getting questions. Is this syllabus valid? Can I use the 2018 pieces for piano? Can I use the old string syllabus now that the new one is here? Every syllabus will remain valid indefinitely. And any planned updates will be announced at least 12 months in advance. So continue playing your pieces that are there. Use the new pieces that have come with the new syllabus. At least 12 more have been added. So as a result, you have a choice from at least 45 to 50 pieces for these instruments where they have added new ones. Instruments like the electronic keyboard continue with whatever was there. Nothing new has been added yet. We continue with whatever is available. And if you buy a book, you will notice now that it says from 2019 onwards, or just from 2019. It does not say from 2019 to 2022 or any other date which would have been there earlier. So do continue using these syllabi, and the technical work will also continue the same. And of course, there may be instances when something is withdrawn. That is because of copyright and the territory where it is available. But these withdrawals will be informed well in advance. Of course, you have to keep up with our website and look it up there for these announcements. Okay, so this is what I have for the classical music exams. Just a quick word on the rock and pop, if there are any rock and pop teachers, the face-to-face requirement. You have 3 songs to do. Nothing has changed here. One of those songs has to be a technical focus song, and you will have to do session skills. 1 out of 2 options, either improvisation or playback. So nothing has changed here. In the digital exam, you do not need to do session skills. You will only do your 3 songs, and the rest of the 20 marks goes to overall performance. And again, we have the same breakdown within the pieces: fluency and security, technical control, communication and style. And song 3, which is the technical focus song, gets more marks because it is also assessing techniques in it. There's no separate technical work. So that becomes 30 marks instead of 25. The technical focus song can be chosen also as song 1 or song 2, but please specify which one you are offering for technical focus when you fill your appointment slip, because that carries extra marks. The examiner will not know otherwise. So that's the rock and pop requirements. And this is what I have for you today. And we are well within time. I think we can take questions which are there in the chat box. Uh, Thank you, of course, very much, everyone, for being here. And let's get to the questions, team. What do we have? What has been addressed?
Actually, we have addressed, I think Gopal and I have addressed all the questions. They
Okay.
ranged asking whether recording would be available, to a clearer explanation of communication, to some electronic keyboard questions, which Gopal has handled. And I think there are not too many questions. If there are any more that have not been answered to
Yeah,
your
please go ahead and put them in. Don't speak because it'll get a little confusing. Just put them in the chat box very quickly. Yes, I can see that most of the questions have been taken care of. If there is anything else, and we don't mind any suggestions, if you would like some other topics addressed, we can fix up more webinars. We are trying to keep these short so that it doesn't eat into your teaching time. And the meeting is recorded. We will send out the recording.